The requisite nature of skepticism in sustainability. In the context of systemically sustainable human growth and development, skepticism holds a crucial role, particularly as it pertains to the evaluation and refinement of developmental strategies, policies, and models. Skepticism has been and should continue to be a central focus within various schools of philosophy throughout history, with multiple philosophers emphasizing its significance in different contexts. Skepticism, as a philosophical approach, generally advocates questioning the certainty of knowledge and perception, often proposing that absolute truth may be unattainable. The different schools of philosophy that embrace skepticism offer distinct perspectives on its application, limitations, and purpose. These philosophical schools of skepticism include ancient Greek skepticism, the Middle Ages and skeptical inquiry in both Christian and Islamic thought, Enlightenment-era skepticism, and modern approaches in existentialism and postmodernism, among others. Each era and school contributes unique insights into the role of skepticism in human understanding and ethical life. Ancient Greek philosophy laid the foundation for skepticism, with prominent thinkers in both the academic and Pyrrhonian schools. The academic school, founded by Plato but later influenced by Arcesilaus, embraced skepticism as a method to suspend judgment on any claim of knowledge. Arcesilaus argued that withholding belief led to a balanced, thoughtful life, free from the errors of hasty certainties. Pyrrho of Elis, the founder of Pyrrhonian skepticism, took a similar but more radical approach, proposing that people should suspend judgment not only about philosophical claims but about all assertions of reality. For Pyrrho, this suspension, known as epike, led to inner peace, as the absence of dogmatic beliefs allowed a person to avoid distress arising from clashing opinions or unfounded convictions. During the Middle Ages, skepticism found a place within the frameworks of religious philosophy in both Christian and Islamic contexts. Saint Augustine addressed skepticism in his work Against the Academicians, where he critiqued the skeptical claims of the academic school while simultaneously acknowledging the importance of doubt in the pursuit of faith. He contended that absolute certainty might be found only through divine illumination. In the Islamic philosophical tradition, thinkers such as Al-Ghazali approached skepticism as a means to address uncertainties and the limitations of human reason, particularly in relation to metaphysical inquiries. His influential work, The Incoherence of the Philosophers, highlighted the limitations of philosophy and science in providing ultimate truths, emphasizing faith and revelation as alternative routes to certainty. The Enlightenment era saw a renewed emphasis on skepticism through the work of philosophers like René Descartes, David Hume, and Immanuel Kant. Descartes used methodical skepticism as a tool in his famous Meditations on First Philosophy, doubting all knowledge derived from the senses to arrive at an undeniable foundational truth, commonly referred to in the oft misused and abused phrase cogito, ergo sum, or I think, therefore I am. In contrast, Hume approached skepticism with a focus on empirical limitations. His skepticism questioned causation, the reliability of sense perception, and the existence of a self beyond fleeting perceptions. Hume and his inquiries led him to conclude that humans tend to form beliefs based on habits rather than logical certainty. Kant, a common nemesis of mine, while not a skeptic in the traditional sense, responded to Hume's skepticism by developing a critical philosophy that questioned the limitations of human knowledge and suggested that people cannot know things as they are in themselves, only as they appear through human faculties. In the 19th century, existentialism introduced a form of skepticism rooted in individual experience, often seen in the works of Soren Kierkegaard and Friedrich Nietzsche. Kierkegaard advocated for a skeptical stance on institutionalized religion and societal norms, emphasizing subjective experience and personal faith as sources of meaning in an uncertain world. Nietzsche, on the other hand, was skeptical of traditional morality, metaphysics, and the concept of objective truth. His philosophy urged individuals to challenge inherited values and create personal meaning in a world where conventional certainties were seen as illusions or as life-denying forces. In the 20th century, skepticism evolved further through existentialist, postmodern, and analytic philosophical perspectives. Thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus built upon existentialist skepticism, questioning the inherent meaning of life and proposing that individuals must create their own purpose in a seemingly indifferent universe. Sartre's existentialism posited that humans are condemned to be free, burdened by the responsibility to shape their own essence without any external moral certainties. Camus argued that life, with its inherent absurdity, demands a more skeptical response to traditional ideas of purpose, while still advocating for a life of resilience and personal ethics. Postmodernism, represented by figures like Michel Foucault and Jacques Derrida, introduced skepticism toward universal narratives, power structures, and the concept of objective knowledge. Foucault and his historical skepticism questioned the formation of knowledge and its relationship to power, arguing that truths are shaped by societal structures rather than objective realities. Derrida, with his deconstructionist approach, similarly sought to uncover and challenge the hidden assumptions within texts and linguistic structures, promoting a skepticism of language as a transparent conduit for meaning. Finally, in analytic philosophy, Ludwig Wittgenstein and, later, contemporary philosophers like Richard Rorty furthered the skeptical inquiry into language, meaning, and knowledge. Wittgenstein, especially in his later works, questioned the stability of language and proposed that meaning is rooted in social context rather than in objective or absolute terms. This approach highlighted skepticism toward fixed meanings and universal truth claims, emphasizing the fluid and often uncertain nature of human discourse. The diverse expressions of skepticism across these philosophical schools underscore its importance as a tool for inquiry, self-examination, and the questioning of unfounded beliefs. Rather than denying the possibility of knowledge entirely, each school demonstrates how skepticism serves to clarify the limits of human understanding, refine ethical frameworks, and challenge assumptions, guiding individuals and societies toward more thoughtful and conscious modes of thought. Skepticism also plays a vital role in the cultivation of critical thinking and problem-solving skills, serving as a fundamental component in evaluating information, questioning assumptions, and approaching challenges with a structured inquiry. In critical thinking, skepticism functions as a guiding principle that encourages individuals to avoid taking information at face value and instead engage with ideas, claims, and evidence rigorously and independently. By questioning initial conclusions and resisting the tendency to accept convenient explanations, skepticism promotes intellectual rigor and enhances analytical capacity, thereby equipping individuals with the tools necessary for thorough investigation and reasoned judgment. This philosophical and practical approach to skepticism underpins problem solving, as it enables individuals to identify biases, uncover hidden assumptions, and pursue solutions that address the complexities of each problem rather than relying on superficial or conventional answers often lacking specificity. Philosophically, skepticism has evolved across various traditions as a method to scrutinize beliefs, challenge dogmatic and ideological thinking, and assess the validity of knowledge claims. This philosophical framework positions the skeptic as one who actively questions the certainty of established knowledge, seeking to identify gaps in understanding or flaws in reasoning. Classical skeptics, such as those in the Pyrrhonian and academic traditions, sought a balance between doubt and inquiry, encouraging a suspension of judgment in cases where absolute certainty could not be achieved. This skeptical approach cultivates a mindset that is not easily swayed by unverified claims, thus promoting intellectual honesty and a commitment to truth. By emphasizing open-mindedness and humility in the face of complex issues, philosophical skepticism fosters a reflective approach that is indispensable to advancing both individual and collective understanding. in the context of systemically sustainable human growth and development, skepticism holds a crucial role, particularly as it pertains to the evaluation and refinement of developmental strategies, policies, and models. A skeptical approach to systemically sustainable human growth and development ensures that proposed solutions are rigorously assessed, enabling practitioners and policymakers to discern viable paths forward based on evidence and rational analysis rather than ideology or convenience. The skeptic remains an essential figure within this framework, as skepticism encourages a continuous examination of how proposed systems and strategies might impact environmental, economic, and social dimensions over time. By questioning the efficacy, ethical implications, and long-term consequences of growth initiatives, skeptics help to mitigate potential risks and highlight areas where additional innovation or adaptation may be required. Moreover, in pursuing systemically sustainable human growth and development, skepticism aids in resisting pressures to adopt unsustainable practices driven by short-term gains or popular trends. The skeptical perspective empowers decision-makers to critically evaluate whether specific actions truly contribute to sustainability or merely serve as superficial solutions lacking substantive impact. This occasionally cynical perspective aligns with the broader philosophical objectives of skepticism by fostering a culture of accountability, where ideas and practices are continually reassessed to align with overarching goals of sustainable development. The skeptic and their individual role extends beyond analysis and critique to include fostering resilience, integration, and adaptability within developmental frameworks and organizational structures. Through their questioning and examination, skeptics contribute to an adaptive process, where practices can evolve in response to emerging insights or unanticipated challenges. This continuous refinement and adaptation is necessary for addressing the complex, integrated, and human-centric nature of systemic sustainability, where long-term success depends on the capacity to respond to dynamic changes in a fluid and constantly changing environment and integrate new understanding and principles into practice. The role of skepticism in critical thinking and problem-solving provides a foundation for rigorous inquiry and thoughtful evaluation. This approach, combined with philosophical skepticism's emphasis on questioning certainties, underscores the skeptic as an indispensable figure in promoting systemically sustainable human growth and development. By advocating for evidence-based analysis, ethical reflection, and a commitment to continuous improvement, skepticism serves not only to refine developmental strategies but also to ensure that they remain aligned with long-term sustainability goals within the local context and focus ultimately on both the individual and collective human experience.
Please like, share, subscribe, and comment below.